Hello guys, Sororo here. A lot of you are having problems with this mission 4 and joining with bombers and managing fuel during this. It's a long escort flight, and it's a flight where you're constrained about the bomber pilot. So I just did a little track of this, flying this mission, and I can show you how I'm doing it and how I think it's supposed to be done. A lot of
Товарищ майор, бомбардировщики уже в воздухе.
when you're thinking about the bomber escort, you don't have to think about this whole Hollywood thing that airplanes are flying wingtip to the bombers, and they're just flying in close formation until something happens. In real life, you don't really need that because you don't have the flexibility, you don't have the capability to actually support those bombers. You can accelerate, you can, and your role as a fighter in this would be to sanitize the air in front of the bombers, to give them enough space for them to carry on their attack without any air threats. So I think a lot of problems are coming from the fact that you're trying to join with the bombers, but by doing that you're actually burning more fuel than you should, and you're just ending up in a space where you're at the same height with the bombers, and you are with you don't have enough speed. If you go and intercept those bombers right when they tell you that they're 25 kilometers away from Sochi, you'd be in the world of hurt, because you would face at 10,000 meters pretty much two 180 degrees turns at speeds of 0.7, 0.6 Mach, and you're just not going to be able to make it, and you shouldn't do that. And it's just the beauty of flight sims, and the beauty of this thing that we do is the fact that we always have to solve different problems in different scenarios, and I'll show you here how I did it. Just don't mind the takeoff. The takeoff is actually really bad, but I'll tell you a little bit what I did. So I set up my RSBM-26. I set up my HSI to and my heading to mimic my waypoint 1 heading, and I know I have roughly 37 kilometers from the airport to my waypoint 1, and that's where kind of I have to start planning how do I join this bomber formation. I have to look into how do I join this bomber formation, so I'm in a position to help them, and I'm also positioned, I'm not burning a ton of fuel, and this can be done with under 500 liters of fuel. We're starting up with close to 3,600. Takeoff will eat up fuel, climbing there will eat up fuel, but you should be able to do this intercept with, you should be able to go to the merge with over 2,000 liters of fuel, which you would have about 1,200 liters to fight and do the dogfight and sanitize the air in front of these guys. As I said, don't judge the takeoff, and you should be able to have enough fuel to actually come back to Sochi, because in a clean configuration with no tank and no missiles, this thing is just going quite fast at economical speed. And of course, if you stay a little higher up in altitude. So as you see here, I just took off, cleaned up the plane, gear is in neutral, flaps are up. I'm lining up to my heading there, and I start keeping keeping the speed over 600 because it's controllable. Flies nicely at that speed, and I'm starting a gentle climb. I'm maintaining my speed. I'm sitting in military power, which is okay. Still have over 3,000 meters. My guys are joining behind me. Made sure that we did a little bit for takeoff so they can come back. And as you can see here, your kneeboards are overlapping the bomber's flight with yours. So I was saying, kind of waypoint 1, past waypoint 1, you know that they will join your course, so they would come closer to you. You'll be in a position where you can form up with them, but form up with them where you can be useful. Where you have enough altitude, when you have enough speed, and when you have a little bit of separation. Mig-21 documentation in manuals used to come with certain graphs, and they had a whole lot of math around it, intercept angles and intercept turns and turns on speed, and all that was designed in altitudes and so on. That documentation, I don't know if it's available.
Выдра, Норка, на курсе в 25 километрах к югу от Сочи. Присоединяемся к эскорту.
I don't know if it's available or not, but maybe a good thing to study if you want there. So, we know the bombers are south pass, right? So, looking here, we know they're high, close 10,000 meters. I'm plugging my burners now because I need to get to their altitude and I need to have enough speed to maneuver. So, I'm keeping close to 800 kilometers an hour. This thing at that speed climbs like a bat out of hell. Keeping an eye on my fuel, and I'm still quite good. And as I'm passing off the clouds, I was saying 13 kilometers from the airport and so on, they should be coming around here. And they're visible. They're dropping contrails. I don't really need labels, or I don't need anything. I can actually see them. They're right there. And what options do I have now? Now I'm in that. I'm still quite low on speed. I'm still under them. They're probably 15 kilometers away. So we put in more burner. And I want to climb over. I want to be able to dictate the fight. I want to be able to have, if I need to gain speed, I can do that. Altitude is life. And as well, keeping that separation with the F5s, that's what's going to be our main adversary in this flight. You put those F5s, you give them more problems that they have to solve. All of a sudden they have two groups separated. It's not just one. Their intercept geometry is not going to be as easy. So now the bombers are coming to me. Why would I turn into them? I know where they're going. It's been briefed. We have all the informations. I'll have to close on them. I just need to escort them. It's still forming up with them. Position right now. I'm turning towards my roughly my waypoint, and as I'm maintaining this turn, I keep checking back because I know where they're going. They're going the same direction with me. So look at that. Look at that beauty.
313, удалению 220. Да, 2000. Дистанция не меняет. 4, первый. Обнаружена цель. 313, удалению
nice
220. Да,
forming up as well. And now
дистанция
I'm
не меняет.
in a position where, you know, I can defend them. I have enough flexibility. My speed is not good, but, you know, guess what? We tighten up a little bit. We fly under parallel course. And I can still plug the burners at this altitude. I'm gonna gain speed quick. Still having plenty of fuel left. Just making sure that I'm lining up with their flight. You know, we go where they go. And that's how you escort them. You know, in this position, when my radar is going to tell me, or these guys are going to start calling contacts, you know, it gives me a little bit more freedom. It's not going to create a head-on intercept. I'll be able actually to sneak up and on some F5s. You know, because they have a decision to make. They have to either go for me, which is good. They're gonna waste ammo. They're gonna waste, you know, they're gonna leave the bombers alone, but they have to go for the bombers, and I'm gonna be in a position to attack them and hopefully shut them down. So right now I'm in military power, close to Mach 1. Not gonna go any faster on mil. I don't think they'll go any faster on mil. Doesn't look they're going a whole lot faster. If they would, you know, we can always plug in a little bit of burner. There's quite a lot of fuel left. As I was saying, 2,000, it's enough. Still has to be challenged. And you know, I'm changing direction, I'm plugging my burner. Just don't need to bleed too much speed. I'm still flying in formation with it. I can still support them. And you know, from now on I'm gonna start preparing my airplane for fight. Yeah. I'm right now in autopilot, so I can realize signature. I can get my bearings straight. Still keep an eye on them from time to time. Starting to build that picture in my head of what's coming. Those guys are still climbing. They're still quite far away, but you know, a couple of minutes. We're just gonna merge, and that's how you would do it. You know, I'm not sitting in afterburner to escort them. Don't have to do that. Yeah, I could probably put a minute afterburner and go some kilometers in front of them, and maybe that would, you know, give me a little bit more freedom to join that fight. Be closer to their SAM side. But you know, at this point, you know, you're in a good position to complete this mission. And you know, this mission was designed that the bombers are not supposed to survive. If you fly other F5 games, the American version of it, their story was that the bombers are not surviving. And in many cases, you're not surviving, but you know, that's how we get to tell the story from the other perspective. But just to wrap it up here, you know, I probably talked too much and repeated myself way too many times. You don't have to use burner in excess. You don't have to join in close formation with them. Use that freedom. Use this tool to solve your problem. Your problem is 4 F5s that will go for those guys. You have to somehow stop them. You know, what would make you more efficient in that case? Going for, you know, flying wind information with Su-24s, or you know, being and sanitizing in front of them. To me, it makes more sense for me to be here, where, you know, I can control the engagement a little better. They're still gonna come. They're still gonna come for me. They're still gonna come for the Su-24s, but you know, I have 4 other MiGs that may be controlled okay. You could do it quite quick. The only downside is here, and that's just to make it more complicated, is that as you approach them, as the 295, the Bear, will tell you that he has contact with the ships and gives orders for the attack and so on. You won't have any radar coverage, and this is how geography works. In this situation, you'd have one radar site at Sochi, one radar site on the other side, and there's no radio coverage as you are here over the sea, and that's, you know, another constraint that MiG pilots would have to face. Your wingman will report contacts as you get closer to the shore. As you get closer to the shore, you're going to regain that radar contact, but for a brief portion of your flight, you're going to be blind. So RWR and scanning for contrails is your best friend. You know, to me, missions like this, where, you know, it's just more than quick go and fight, and where you have to use a little bit of more than just your flying skills. To me, that's what makes it fun, because everybody could turn and burn in a 2 versus 2 or 4 versus 4 engagement and just go crazy. But this one, you have to plan it a little bit more. You have to be aware of where you are and what's going on. And, you know, I was saying that you can join this fight with over 2,000 liters of gas.
Щука, Ласка.
Which is...
Наблюдаю флот противника. Норка, ожидайте координаты. Щука, занимайте боевой.
So this is the moment that the merge is going to happen. Actually, Su-24s will try to take a little bit of the fight on their own. So this is the moment you can go and look for those contrails and interrogate your radar and work your way into getting there first. Just looking at it again. Just you can just plug in the burners for 30 seconds now and just be ahead and get into the fight. Use your wingmans to, you know, take some of those F5s quick. I'm not gonna show you how to do that because flying this I collided with an F5. Too close for guys. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. You know, keep your support for this campaign and, you know, keep playing it. It's okay to skip it if it's complicated. Drop your note if you'd like to see anything else. And, you know, thanks a lot for watching. Sorrel out.